Morning, everyone.
Morning, Tracy.
Hello.
Good
Sorry
morning,
I'm a bit
Tracy.
late. I was just waiting for the host to be shared so I can start talking to you guys. How's everybody? All good?
All
Yes.
good, thank you.
Perfect.
Good,
Okay,
thank you.
that's great. So I'll probably do a little bit adjustment for today. I am not going to start doing the roll call at the beginning. Um, as these units, we're going to have a couple of activities. I would like all of you guys to participate. So I will do the roll call when we doing the activity. So I want to make sure everyone is still there when we're doing the activities. All right. I know some of the students they probably just say hi at the beginning and then they disappear. I don't want this happen again. All right. So we will do the roll call when we're doing the activities. Okay. Okay. So let me quickly share my screen with you guys. Then we can start. Right.
Hello, Tracy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, later on, around 12 o'clock, I have a manual handling class. I just enrolled for manual handling class for the work placement. So later on, yeah, I will just.
That is not good enough, you know. You already aware that we do have class from 10 to 3, right? So why are you enrolling at your manual handling class today?
Yeah, because they only available today and actually on Friday. But yeah, so yeah, I just enroll
So if
today.
you miss today's class and I won't be able to mark your full attendance.
I see. Yeah, around 12:30 will be. Sorry, 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. If when we're doing the roll call and you are not able to attend, then I can't mark your attendance that you are here.
Yeah. So it's alright. Like to having a half day class.
There's no half day class. You can definitely come back and join the class, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I can't mark your full attendance.
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah. Okay, then it's alright.
Okay. All right.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anyone have any questions? Anything regarding from last units before we start? No? No questions from last couple of units? No, nothing? Okay. So let's restart today's unit. Hopefully, the PowerPoint slide works properly for me this time. Fingers crossed. No? Okay. Are you able to see the full page of the PowerPoint?
No, not a full page.
No. Okay. Do it again. Hopefully that will be the full page. How about now?
Yes.
Yes? Perfect. Okay. So today we're going to do the new unit. It's about work with diverse people. So before we start, could anyone tell me what is the brief definition about diversity? What is your understanding about diversity? Anyone have any idea? What is diversity means in English?
Different backgrounds?
Different background? Okay, yes. Anything else other than different what background?
Maybe like ethnic, gender, religion.
Yeah, gender, religions, yeah, or cultural backgrounds, right? Excellent. That is what we're going to focus today. As you all know that in Australia, it is the multicultural country, right? So we do have chance to working with people coming from all different cultural backgrounds, with different genders, and also even though our clients, right, they may not be only Australian, they could be probably from Europeans, or they're from Asia, or if they're Africa, right? So for us as a care support worker, you guys should know how to work with diverse people, right? So this is what we're going to focus on. And regarding these units, what we want you guys to learn is you should have the skills and knowledge for your work, and knowing how to respectfully work with the people coming from different cultural groups in different situations, and including people like Aboriginals and also the Torres Strait Islander people, right? So you know they are the First Nation people in Australia. So we would have one section is focused on how are we going to work with Aboriginal people, okay? So firstly, I'm gonna show you guys some of the key concepts of this unit. I would like you guys to take a screenshot or write down those key concepts, definitions of culture. So there are four main key concepts we're going to discuss here. One is called cultural sensitivity. Okay, so here is a listing what that means. It is enable a individual to reflect on how their culture, their worldview, and also their action impacts on others, right? We all have our own cultural background. Our culture could directly impact on how we treat other people or how we work with other people. So we do need to be culturally sensitive, right? We can easily recognize that, okay, somebody having different culture, having a different culture as us. So how are we going to work with them properly and respectfully, right? And the second key term is called cultural awareness. Okay, cultural awareness, it is the person's understanding of the differences between yourself and other people from other countries or other backgrounds. So you need to be aware we are different. Yeah, even though we are all from Asian, right? We're from Asian country, but we do definitely would have different cultural background. Our traditions would be different, right? So you need to be having that awareness. We are different, and how do we treating each other equally, respectfully, etc. That is about cultural awareness. And the third term, that is one of the really important term, especially nowadays we're going to have a new Aged Care Act, okay? Just to give you a quick reminder, yesterday I attended the webinar from the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission and also the Department of Health. They have fully announced that from 1st of November, we're going to start having the new Aged Care Act and also the new Aged Care Standards. They also mentioned that one of the key concepts will be they focus on, it's about cultural safety, okay? It is really important for all of us as aged care workers. We definitely need to practice and support our clients with cultural safety. So that is what is showing it here. It means providing a safe environment to people where there is no assault, challenge, or any denial of their cultural identities and needs. Okay, everyone, we do have our cultural identities and also our cultural needs. As a care support worker, we are 100%. We must support our clients with their cultural needs. All right, like different culture, they do have their traditions, they do have their customs, they do have their traditional food, their celebration, festivals. Even though you may not 100% familiar with their cultural background or their customs, but as a care staff, we do need to fully support them to practice all of those customs and related to their culture. That is called cultural safety. Okay. For example, if your client, she is Asian, all right, but she start living in a residential aged care home. Probably most of them are European, okay? But the staff are still need to be culturally sensitive and aware that the client's cultural background, and also even though she is the only one in this facility is from Asia, then we still need to fully support this client's cultural needs, right? Let's say, what would be one of the festival? Let's say the Moon Festival just passed probably 2 weeks ago, right? So the person, even though she's the only one person in this facility from Asian, we do need to think how we're going to support this person for her cultural needs, right? So this is cultural safety. And the last key term of this unit is called cultural competence. That is all related to all of us, okay? It is this ability. You guys should have this ability to understand and communicate and effectively interact with people across cultures. Not only to our clients, you do also need to have this ability to communicate and work with our colleagues, right? You're beside you, or even though in one shift, in one facility, you do have different colleagues. They're having different cultural background. So you must have this ability to be able to effectively communicate with them and also effectively interact with them. All right, so these are the 4 key terms of this unit. At the end of this unit, you should have the good understanding about the 4 of those terms. Okay, that's why I firstly require you to take a screenshot, write down the keywords of those 4 key terms. All right. And at the beginning, I did ask you guys what diversity means. Okay, so here I'm showing you what diversity means. So firstly, as I think one of the students has mentioned, diversity means different, right? Correct? So diversity means variety. So in our workplace, you can see like from this photo, we're showing you on the PowerPoint slide, we probably work with different staff in different genders, different cultural background, different color skin. It could be lesbian or gay or different skin color, etc. Right? So different religions. We may have different age, right? Different age group, or they may have different political backgrounds as well. That is all the chances we may have worked with the group like this. That's we call diversity. Yeah, that is really typical in Australia. So it is important for us to getting to know how to work with them. That's why we do have a specific unit to discuss this. Before we know how to effectively interact with others coming from different cultural background, I think it is important for you to firstly knowing your own cultural background and also your own perspective regarding diversity. So that's why in the first chapter, we're going to focus on how we identify and reflect our own social and cultural perspective and also some bias, right? I believe we are all human beings. We do have our own stereotypes and bias, but it is quite important for us to be able to reflect our own culture perspective and bias. Then we should know how to balance this and also how we can effectively interact with others. Okay. All right. So in these slides, we have also a couple of new terms that we need to introduce to you guys. First, it's called social perspective. Okay. So I try to summarize it and make it easier for you to understand. So social perspective, it means it's your view of the society or a group. I believe everyone, you do have your own understanding and your own view about the society or the country you live in, or even though in your workplace, you may have your own view, right? That is about the social perspective. It is your own view, your own understanding. And the second term is called social bias. Okay, that is could be favoring one community over another. You may say, oh, I work in this bigger organization, probably I feel a bit better, taking advantage with other smaller, or if there are any different favoring bias, that is, you may feel like this one is better than the other community, right? That is we call social bias. And the following one is called the social perspective and cultural perspective and cultural bias. That is similar as the top two. So cultural perspective is your view of shared value and traditions, which is about your culture. What is your understanding? What is your view about your own culture? And also bias, it could be favoring one set of value or traditions over another. Some of them may say, oh, the Western culture is higher or better than other traditions, right? That could be a social bias. Okay, so that is another terms. And in our daily work as a support worker, I think it is quite important for us to understanding how does your own perspective and bias may affect your work. Okay, we always say we need to respect each other. We need to respect other clients or family member or our colleagues. But sometimes I do understand you are really difficult, right? Really difficult to do, say, 100% I have no bias. Probably that is really hard, but I think we do need to firstly understanding if you having those bias, how does this affect your own work, right? So here is showing you your own perspective or bias could probably influence you, like how you communicate with other people from different cultural background, right? And also that would definitely influence you how you provide supports and collect informations, yeah. And also it could influence how you respect diseased people and also other properties or dietary or any medical needs, right? So we definitely need to understanding our own value and try our best to not putting those perspective and bias to affect your own judgment in the workplace. Okay, and here it's showing you how does this reflect to build awareness. That is actually a skills and ability. Since you're working longer and probably interacting more with other people coming from different cultural background, your awareness can be built up a bit better and helping you to easily aware the differences. So firstly, here is showing you can reflect your thoughts and experience and also your behavior. For example, probably after the class, you may go to a shopping center, someone probably coming to start talking to you, all right? You don't know that person, the person probably speaking in different languages or they have different cultural background. So if you do have bias or your own social or cultural perspective to that person, you probably feel like, who you are, I don't want to talk to you, I don't know you at all, right? So that probably could affect your interaction with the person, yeah. But what we focusing on is how we respectfully interacting with others in your workplace. For sure, probably the example I'm giving to you is in your social life, in your daily life. If somebody come and talk to you, you may have a different reaction. But what we're trying to focus is in your workplace. If somebody coming to you to start interacting with you, but they are having different cultural backgrounds, you should start building up your awareness for those differences. Yeah, and you need to control your action and reactions, right? And also anticipate the workplace challenges and also trying to resolve any problems linked with cultural or racial differences. Okay, as you can imagine, your organization may have more than 100 staff, right? Or in one day, one shift, you may have around 20 to 50 staff. They could be across working in nursing, working in cleaning, working in the kitchen, working in the reception. You do have chance to interact with them. So you we may have so many different conflicts, workplace conflicts, or some arguments or differences, different idea. So you must be aware that if there's any conflicts, workplace conflicts related to cultural or social differences, we need to be aware and need to think about how we're going to solve those problems, right? And also here is listing some of the questions that you can reflect, you can asking yourself. Yeah, that questions is helping you. Probably you guys can take a photo, take a screenshot to practice in the future. Or some of you is if you are already start working in aged care or community services, you can read through those questions and start asking yourself to reflect your own cultural perspective. Do you have those bias? Do you have any particular cultural perspective to other people or other people from different cultural background, right? That would help you to start building up your own awareness and also your cultural competence ability to knowing how to start working properly and respectfully with others, right? I'm not go through and read through all of those questions to you. I think you guys can start practicing at home, or even though next time when you're going to work, you can start doing your own reflection, asking yourself those questions if you have any other cultural perspective. And the following questions here is showing how you can reflect on your own cultural bias. Okay, that would also, some of the bias you may not be aware at this stage until you reflect yourself. Yeah, so those questions like how does the cultural background affect my daily experiences, right? Or are there times that I judge, approach, or avoid a person based on their cultural background, right? Some of those questions that would help you to reflect on your own cultural bias. Yeah. According to the previous experience, the students, some of the students told me that they feel like those questions are really helpful because before they doing this unit, they did not even aware that they may have some of the cultural perspective or cultural bias, but since they start doing some reflections, they realize that yeah, some of the points that they may have some bias to some particular cultural groups or some particular group of people, such as could be people with dementia or people with disability or elderly people, etc., etc. Right? So this part is really giving you guys chance to start reflecting yourself. We may not have chance to do this reflection in the class, but I strongly encourage you guys after the class, go through those questions, start doing some reflections for yourself, okay? And also here is showing you the questions about social perspective. Yeah, as we say, social perspective could also impacting how we interact with others. Such as like, do you feel obligated to spend time with those people who are working with you or working around you, or are there legal or social expectation of how to spend your time, right? Those kind of questions. So that's about the social perspective, or what kinds of buildings or infrastructures are there in your environment. I think that is really straightforward, especially if you have started working in your in aged care or relevant services. That probably would help you to start be aware that if you have your own social perspective in your work environment or environments around you. Okay? And definitely the following slides would show you about social bias. That would help you to identify if you may have some social bias, such as am I more likely or willing to provide better services to people of certain groups, right? That is the questions probably you don't need to answer, you don't need to give me answer, but I think it will be good for you to start thinking from today, asking yourself if you do probably prefer to work with someone from some certain groups or certain cultural background than others, right? So that could be a social bias. All right. So far, any questions? Am I too fast, or you okay understanding those key concepts? Yeah, because you comfortable with that? Okay. So yeah, because at the beginning I will try to giving you more of those definitions first, and helping you to have a basic understanding before we exploring a bit more. Okay, and also the activities we're going to do. There are two activities we're going to do it today. That is also helping you to getting to know other cultural background, and also especially for original cultural background. Okay. And the following slide is showing you to identify how your culture affects different people and different groups. All right. So as we say, we want to do some reflection. What's the purpose of doing reflection? One of the purpose is we want to build up our awareness, make sure we are having a cultural sensitivity, right? And the final reasons we want to do the reflection is to make sure we start gaining that ability to properly communicate and effectively interact with others. So when we do our own reflection, you need to start thinking, reflecting, help you to understanding your culture's attitude, right? I think most of our cultural background, our attitude to senior people or to elderly people, we need to support or respect, right? And also we need to consider the language we are using. Yeah. So when we're talking to little boys, 5 years old kids, or when we're talking to an elderly lady or senior persons, right? The language we use would be different. And also when we talk about languages, I think probably most of you would be aware that in your workplace, okay, you are only allowed to speak English in Australia in your workplace. I do see so many staff, they are talking their native languages in front of the clients. That is really disrespectful. Okay? If your supervisor identify that, they will definitely give you a talk, right? Or if some of them, if they're serious, or the family member or the clients may complain about this, you may get a warning. All right. So when you supporting your clients in front of your clients, you must only speaking English. That is one way, also one of the way to show your respect. Why do you think talking other or talking your own languages with other staff in front of the client is really disrespectful? How about if you speaking, like, let's say Indonesian, right? Indonesia, somebody in front of you is talking about other languages which is you don't understand. How do you feel? Do you feel good or you feel bad? If somebody is working with you but they are talking their own languages which is you don't understand, how do you feel?
Yeah, feel isolated. Feel like maybe they talk behind my back, like they're talking something about me. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is really common for most of us who have a similar feeling. Are you talking about me? Is it I've done something wrong? Right? You really not including me. We are a team, right? So why you are talking something which is I don't understand? It is would be the same feeling for our client as well. Okay, even though you may not think about to disrespect the clients, you probably just quickly talking something with your colleagues, but you do need to consider if your client doesn't understand what you're trying to say, they probably feel like you must be talking something about me, which is you don't want me to hear. All right, so make sure in front of your clients we only speaking English. Some of the staff they also have a question question to me. They say, how about in my lunch break? Can I talk to my friends in the language I prefer? Um, I would say when you're taking your break, it is your own free time. But if in the staff room we still have others staff around you, or probably you're sitting in the same table, I think for respects, yeah, we still probably better to speak English as well. Otherwise, you probably sit in the corner, you're making your own phone call, or you're talking to your friend, then you may speak in your own language. But if we've got other staff who doesn't understand your language, I think it's better to speak English as well. Okay, that is also showing your respect, right? And also definitely we do need to familiar with your the organization's policy, because that could also the policy would also help us to understand the basic basic way how we properly interact with people from different cultural backgrounds. Okay. So when we say working with people from other cultural background, definitely we do have different areas. The first one, it could be the language barrier. So that's why in Australia we do have quite large numbers of interpretations and translation services. They are the registered and professional translator. So in some circumstances, even though you're understanding that client's languages, you are not able to be the person to do translation. For example, if any legal services or legal issue or medical issues, that we do require to look for the the professional translator or interpreter. Okay, so language would be one of the barrier, and it could be different problems. Could be different people have their own problem solving style, and also it could be unequal access, some benefits from policies and other discrimination. Right, so you do need to be aware, and when you're doing your own cultural reflections. Okay, so the following part is work with awareness of your own limitation in self, and also social awareness. So we do need to firstly understand what is social awareness. So social awareness means understands how social traits shapes the value and behavior. So we need to be aware of your own bias and also your own assumptions. As we say, regardless you are focused on, or you're doing any clinical work, or you guys are not doing clinical work, you're doing your supporting your clients social daily tasks, or just supporting your clients for anything, any other services, we better to be non-judgmental rather than using our own assumption. Everything we do need to get to know our clients and not putting your own bias that to affect the way you're treating your clients. Okay, so here I listed some of the key points for you. So people are more than their cultural backgrounds or their social group. So you're treating the person as as an individual. Everyone is different. You are not treating the same as because of they are from this cultural background or they are from this social group. Everyone would be the same. Okay, so you should start getting to know this person and not to just a group of people. All right, and definitely, as we say, we should avoid our assumption. For example, you may thought, oh, every Italians they must love pizza or pasta. This is just your own assumption, and that could be a stereotypes, right? Or you may think, oh, she is a Indian female. Probably she's really good at cooking or dancing. Probably it's not. This is your own assumption. So we need to actually get to know this person rather than you just guess, right? And definitely respect different beliefs and also behaviors. As we all know that different cultural background, they do have their own beliefs. They may have their own different specific behaviors, So even though you don't have to agree, right? But at least we do need to respect. Okay. And the following, it is to reflect on your ability to work inclusively and also understanding others. Can I ask you guys what is inclusive means in our workplace? Or in terms of culture, what is inclusive? Anyone have any idea when we're talking about working with other people coming from different cultural background? What is inclusive means?
As specific different.
Sorry, I can't hear you properly.
Inclusive is specifically someone's one culture.
Sorry, I still can't hear it. You're lagging. I can only hear you mention culture, but I can't hear the rest. Sorry. Yo, and did you also trying to mention anything about inclusive? What do you understanding about inclusive?
Yeah, I thought it means to be a part of the community.
Okay, to be part of community. Yeah, good. Anything else? Anyone can give me any example. If probably it's hard for you to give a definition, but can you give me any example of inclusive in our workplace? What can you do to show inclusion or to be inclusively, work inclusively? What could be an example to showing that?
Maybe like celebrate different like holiday, like diversity holiday. Is it count?
Yeah. So celebrates other people's their festivals. You mean like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like let's say maybe Mooncake Festival or like Christmas Festival and like sort of like that.
Okay, great. Anyone have any other examples about work inclusively?
In my workplace, they hire people from diverse background.
Okay, great. Yep, that is a really good example. Yeah, we do actually encourage to the employer. That is part of the law as well. Like they do want you guys they do want the employer to hire or employ the people from different cultural background. Yeah, perfect, great. Even though really simple, when we're having a meeting, yeah, it's not only one person's to sharing their ideas. We encourage everybody. They do have your say to share your understanding, to share your idea, and always asking about your feedback. That is part of inclusion as well. They are not only they are not excluding everybody else. They want everyone to contribute to the meeting. They always encouraging you to share. Right, that is part of inclusions. All right. So here in the following slides, we're gonna show you what is inclusion through cultural safety. Right. So firstly, we must culturally safe practices in our workplace. We definitely need to practice this. First is we need to respect and also recognize other cultural identities. For example, they probably wearing a specific jewelries, or I do see sometimes they for Indian culture they probably put a red dot on their foreheads, right? I remember they mentioned that there's representing their special meaning, right? We recognize that and we fully respect. Yeah, probably in some certain date of the year they need to be fasting, right? They probably cannot eat for the whole day, that is part of their culture, etc. So we do need to respect and also recognize that. And always act with cultural inclusiveness. That is what we have mentioned earlier. In most of the organizations, even though it's same as the one I used to work with, every year when there's a specific cultural festival, like let's say the Chinese mooncake festivals, even though you are from Indonesia, you're from India, you are Australian culture, we're all inviting everybody to come for this party to celebrate the moon. We're enjoying the mooncake, we share that, we even encourage other people to bring in their own dishes, their traditional dishes we can share. That is part of inclusion as well. Yeah, that is to start giving the opportunity for other staff who having their own cultural background and that they could share with other staff as well. Once we knowing each other's background more, and we will be more definitely interact with them more effectively, right? That is your employer's responsibility. But as a staff, we do need to definitely respect other people's cultural background. And also, please, we do need to avoid behaviors that harm or could disempower others. Yeah, we should not discriminate other cultural background or due to their religions or their race or ethnicity that having some inappropriate behavior. Please avoid it. Yeah, we don't want to have any cultural conflict in our workplace. So at least we do need to respect. Yeah. And here is showing you some of the appropriate, culturally appropriate services. For example, we as a workers, we should always focus on our clients' needs and also what's their strength, right? What they are able to do, what they really require us to support. That is our focus as a support worker, right? We are not focused on because you're coming from this culture, I'll treat you a bit better, or you from that ethnicities, or you from that religions, I treat you not unfairly. No, we focus on our clients' interests, hobby, and also their needs, right? And as a workers, we definitely need to respect their culture, their kinships, and their family ties. That's why we always say we do also need to work closely with the client's family member because they could give us a big help, right? For example, they can provide us a lot of your clients' habits, their hobby, their interests to help us to getting to know more about the client. So we do work closely, yeah, with the family member, and also we definitely support identity and also the community connection. Even though the elderly people or people living with dementia or disability, we still want them to have a strong connection with the community. They are not just living in their own room and excluding everything on the community. No, we still want them to actively participate in any activities in the community, like you guys going for social clubs, you're going to meet your friends in the coffee shop. Every weekend, you probably go out for shopping, etc. That is a really common community activities, right? So we're actually doing the same for our clients, regardless their cultural background, right? We do need to provide their traditional food and support our clients to have their traditional dress, etc. Yeah, so that is how we can support for cultural safety. Okay. And don't forget, this is you need to understanding your own responsibility as a support worker. Okay, part of it is you need to understand the community history. We need to build respectful relationships with the cultural groups. All right. So when you're working in a facility, you probably need to start also building up your network. Yeah. Look for any cultural group in your community that you can support your clients to go through. For example, if your client is Greek, yeah, or Italian, right? So you may start looking for any Italian groups in your community that you can help your clients to having a connection or build up any relationship with the cultural group, right? When they're doing any cultural activities in the community, you can also invite or encourage your clients to attend it too, right? And also collaborate with any key community members and also the agency, just like similar as what mentioned earlier. If there's any local church or in the community center, if they have any particular community member that would support your clients regarding their cultural background, right? So that you need to liaise with them and support the client as well. Okay. I think this card would be more, I mean, for the previous one, sorry, I probably go back. For this one, it's more for people who supporting in home care and community services that requires you guys to require the support workers to do a bit more regarding this. But in residential aged care, we do have a specific team, or we call it the recreational team or our lifestyle team. Probably they will focus more on this. As a care support worker, probably in the residential aged care, then we will focus more on supporting our clients' emotional, psychological, and physical needs. But for home care or community services, then we are not only providing physical care, but also we do need to support our clients with that. Okay? But it doesn't mean in residential aged care home, care support worker will not do anything to support our clients' cultural need. No, that's not what I mean. But I mean to building up their community or cultural groups that probably would be more rely on our recreational or lifestyle stuff. Yeah. And inclusions and human rights. So I think that is just to give you guys a recap of human rights. We did mention it and explain to you guys about human rights in last couple of units. Yeah, so human rights, it is about protect the dignity, equality, fairness, respect, and independence, right? And everyone, we are entitled to have a human rights to be protected. Yeah, and another term is to showing you that it's human needs. As you may see that human needs is to pertain to basic means of our survival. Yeah, I think everyone, we do need to survive with food, with somewhere to live in. We need water, we need air, we need clothing, etc. So as a support worker, we are not only providing our clients basic human needs, we do need to definitely protect our clients and uphold our clients' human rights. Yeah, that is part of what we say inclusion. And here I listing a couple of key workers' role, what we're supposed to do to uphold our clients' human rights. For example, we can use different tools or using the assistive technologies, right? We have mentioned it previously to support equality and also independence, especially for our clients with diabetes, with disabilities, right? So there are so many different assistive technologies that would help our clients to live independently, right? For example, if the clients have amputation, they probably can use wheelchairs so they can still mobilize freely by themselves. Yeah. And as a support worker, we definitely need to provide equal access to care, materials, and services, regardless your cultural backgrounds, your religions, your age, your gender, everyone they should have the equal opportunity to access for healthcare, education, employment, and any government support, etc. Yeah, and for sure, it is our responsibility and it's our duty to listen to our clients. Yeah, you can't assume you're already aware and you know what your clients want. You are not them. So definitely we always need to practice active listening, right? Actively listen to our clients and address their individual needs respectfully. Okay. Probably at this time, could anyone tell me, what do you do to show your respect to our clients? As we have keep mentioning, we need to respect our clients and their family member. What do you do to show your respect? Anyone? We always say we need to respect. We need to respect each other. How? What do we do? We can't just say, yes, I respect you, but you are talking your own languages or you're doing something else. How do you show your respect? Come on, everybody. Sorry?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's slightly better. Thanks.
Okay. I guess the most effective tool is communicate.
Communicate? Did you mention communicate?
Yes, you said respect.
Yes, yeah.
Communications.
Communication? Good. How do you communicate to your clients by showing your respect?
Yeah, I think I would address them using a formal way of calling. Like
To
if they have a name,
Yeah.
using their name when you're talking to them. And always use like the future. Sorry,
I still can't hear you properly. I still have difficulty. How about you guys? Can you hear it properly from no, right? Yeah, sorry. Anyone else? It's not that difficult. That is all we need to practice every day to show respect. How?
Be kind, polite.
Polite, be
Like,
kind, yeah.
Yeah, and then listen other people opinion or their perspective about differences.
Mm-hmm. So active listening, yes. Be polite, yeah. Anything else? So how do you be polite? How do you say, yeah, I'm polite? Any particular way?
Or maybe watch our tone and then
Yeah.
use some certain sentence like make it polite.
Using some certain sentence, like, can you give us any example?
Like saying please when we are asking for something.
Yeah. Okay, good. Excellent. Or even though really simple, before you walk into your client's room, knock the door, wait for permissions before you walk in, right? Always offering your choices, options to your clients, encouraging your clients to make their own decisions, right? Support your clients for independence. Those are all those different ways to show your respect, because you're respecting your clients as an individual, right? I always heard a lot of staff say, oh, when someone is getting older, they just like a kid. They like the baby, right? But that is absolutely not right. Everyone, it is an individual. We need to respect and we're treating the person as an adult. They are not the kids. especially even though the person living with dementia, they probably like could not control their behavior, their emotions, but they are definitely an adult.
So you need to make a selection out of here. Which one are you?
Sorry? Leo? Hello? Leo? Leo? Okay. If you are not answering the question,
Your phone number is the phone.
or just mute, because I don't think she is answering question relevant. Alright, so as we say, make sure the behavior or how you treat others, you do need to understand how we can show our respect, okay? And not only respecting our clients, also respect the family member as well, okay? Alright, let's continue. So here is showing you some of the example how you can apply human rights to our workplace. As we say, human rights not only applies to our clients, also applies to our colleagues, your managers, or whoever working in your workplace as well. So the first way is definitely we need to implement the workplace and procedure to address any barriers. If and any barriers in the provision of the service to our clients, anything if your clients have any concerns or they may have any difficulties or anything we are unable to do or it is outside the scope of your role, so always check your policy, check your organization policy and procedure first, because most of the time your policies and procedure will guide you how to deal with or how to address your client's difficulty or barriers or concerns, right? And also pursue development opportunities on how to provide services based on human rights principles. That is something related to what we discussed previously. One of the approach we use is the rights-based approach, right? Hopefully you guys still remember the three type of approaches we are using in our in aged care. One is the person-centered approach. Second, it is the strengths-based approach, right? And the third one is the right-based approach, which is to support our clients to practice all of those their rights. Yeah. And plan and provide support in considerations of the individual needs and preferences of your clients. That is exactly matched, as we mentioned, the person-centered care, right? Person-centered approach, which is we do need to fully understanding and supporting our clients' needs, goals, and preferences. Yeah, and get the opinion of the clients and work with them and to make sure their needs are addressed, which is we have mentioned, it is to empower our clients, offering different options, and evaluate how you and other workers interact with clients to make sure that the rights of the clients are respected and upheld. Right, so we do need to get in the training. Your employers need to make sure you guys are competent, knowing how to practice the right-based approach, how to support our clients to getting there. If they have any concerns about anything, then you should support them to practice their rights, right? Okay, so definitely when we're talking about cultural and diversity, that is part of, you guys need to understand the legal and ethical considerations, all right? So some of the relevant legal and ethical consideration I have already listed here on the screen. The first one is about anti-discriminations, okay? So you guys are all aware what anti-discrimination means, right? And also definitely it's about human rights, 100% that is related to cultural and diversity. We are definitely not allowed to discriminate or to violate anyone's human rights, yeah? And also the rights and responsibilities of a worker, employer, and clients. I think in the previous units or the one before, we did discuss about the individual responsibility, including the employee, employer, and also the client's responsibility. Do anyone remember your own as a care support worker's responsibility working in aged care? What is your role as a, what is your responsibility as a care support worker? This is already week 7, so you have already done, I believe, more than, I would say, 8 units already. Am I right? Yes, so you should now know your own responsibility as a care support worker. Come on, everyone.
Provide personal care for clients.
Okay, provide personal care to your clients. Excellent. That is part of your responsibility. That is actually your role. That's not your responsibility. That is your role. That is your duty, right? That is the work you need to do. Anything else that would be your responsibility? Anything else provide other than providing a physical care?
Of protecting yourself, coworker, and the client.
Protecting
Ourselves, the client, and the coworker.
Protecting them what?
Like healthy and safety.
Safety, yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. So you need to make sure the care you provided to your clients is safe, right? Okay, excellent. That is really good. That is about our duty of care, right? So you need to make sure the care and services you provided to your clients is safe, it's not causing any harm. Excellent. That is part of your responsibility. What else?
Keep our clients free from discrimination.
Excellent. So make sure your clients free from discrimination. Good. Anything else as a care support worker? What would be your main responsibility?
Protect their privacy.
Protect our clients' privacy. Yes. Good. Perfect. Tell me one more.
Promote independence.
Provides independence. Good, good. Also, this last one, also your responsibility as well as a worker. You must follow and comply with the standards, the legislation, and also your organization policy and procedure, right? That is also your responsibility as a care support. And definitely as your employer, they do have their own responsibilities as well. For example, they need to make sure the workplace is safe for the staff, right? You can't hire a staff and then come working in a really unsecurity places, or it's unsafe, or is the building is going to collapse, or lack of lighting, or lack of support, right? That is definitely not safe for the staff. So it is your employer's responsibility to make sure they're providing you a safe and healthy environment to work in. Then also they must provide you a proper equipment for you to perform your jobs, right? It's their responsibility to provide you guys training to make sure you are able to provide safe and high quality of care to your clients. It is their responsibility to make sure they pay you according to the legislation. They can't underpay you, right? They need to make sure they can provide you some counseling services if you may have any incidents or accidents during your work time, right? It is also your employer's responsibility. How about our clients? Definitely our clients, they do have their own responsibility as well, even though they are the person receiving care and services from us. But as a client, what would be their responsibility, you think? That is all we did discuss it previously. It's not new.
Communicate their needs.
Excellent. Yeah. So as a client, they must clearly communicate their needs to us, right? If including the family member, if the client is not able to share with us, yeah, they do need to communicate with us. Excellent. What else? So communicate their needs with us. Anything else you think it is our client's responsibility?
They should follow their care plan.
They should follow their
Care plan.
They should follow their care plan. I will not use follow, but it is our client's responsibility to go through and review the care plan with us, right? And they should let us know if there's anything they are not happy or they are not satisfied, so we can change it for them, right? But it doesn't say that they must follow. It is not the law. The care plan is not the law, but they do have responsibility to review and let us know if anything they want to adjust or changes, right? What else would be, there's also two more really important responsibility for the clients.
Respect the support worker.
Excellent. Yeah. So we do need to respect our clients. The clients also need to respect us as well, right? And the other one, it would be if your clients, for example, they identify any of their own hazards or risks, it's their responsible for us to let us know. Yeah, even though it's for sure as a care support worker, we do need to identify any hazards. But if our clients also aware that they probably may have some hazards or may have any risks, it is also, they can't just hide it without sharing with us. It is their responsibility to let us know. For example, they start having sore throat, they're having cough, etc. So they need to let us know they may have some infection, they may have upper respiratory tract infection, etc. So we can put some mask on, we can take some precaution, we can organizing doctors to review, but it is their responsibility to letting us know, right? So it is good for you guys to understanding all of the rights for workers, employers, and our clients too. And this slide is showing you some of the requirements and relevant legislations to protect discriminations. So firstly, here is showing you the definition of discrimination. All right, if anyone they are still not 100% sure, please write it down. So discrimination means giving any unfair treatments. Okay, giving any unfair treatments to people due to their identity or their characteristics, including age, disability, race, religion, sex, and gender. All right. Here it is the legislations in Australia that to protect everyone's to avoid discrimination, such as age discrimination, that is to protecting not only elderly people. Okay, sometimes young people they could be discriminated because of their age. For example, some of the employer they may decline to refuse to hire somebody. It's not because of their qualification or experience, it's just because of their age. They may think, oh, you are too young, you probably haven't completed this qualification, or you don't have experience or whatever, then they just not employ that person, right? So Age Discrimination Act is not only protecting for elderly people, it could also protect for young people. Anything related to age discrimination that will be protected by this legislation. So the following one, definitely that is related to protect disability discrimination. Okay, it's not only for about physical disability, it's including all different types of disability. Yeah, such as intellectual disability, developmental disability, physical, psychological, etc., etc. Okay, and also there is racial discrimination and also the sex discrimination. So sex discrimination that is including like we are not allowed to discriminate anyone have different sexual orientation, yeah, even though they probably transgender or they're lesbian or they're gay, that they are all protected by this sex discrimination as well. Okay. And also here is showing you, as we have mentioned, the Commonwealth and also our states or the territory, they do have their own legislation to protect or avoid discrimination as well. So we have mentioned the first couple of them, and the last one is we also saying that there is legislation to protect Aboriginal people and also the Torres Strait Islander as well, for free from discrimination. Right? Excuse me. We do have a second chapter. We will focus on discussing Aboriginal culture. So it's helping you guys to learning a bit more. We can quickly finish this part, then we could have our first quick breaks. Okay. And also, as we say, it's not only the Commonwealth or the federal government or the state and territory governments have the legislation. In your own organization, they do have a specific policy and procedure and practices about anti-discrimination as well. Okay, so as you can imagine, most of those policy and procedure, they are developed and created aligned with the legislation, yeah, but they do also have their specific way outlining clearly in the policy what do we do to show our respect, what to do to show our inclusions in the workplace, and also the equity, right? So the rights and responsibility of the workers, right? So we need to make sure we uphold and respect everyone's rights, all right? Anyone remember the Charter of HK Rights? Yeah, do you remember the Charter of HK Rights? So make sure if you don't remember, I would strongly recommend you to go back to our previous units, or you can Google the Charter of HK Rights. That is also something they're probably going to modify a little bit once from the 1st of November when the new HK Act started or gets effective. So they will also really focus on upholding our elderly peoples or people with disabilities, their rights. Okay, so please go back and have a look. And here it is. This slide is showing you the organization. One of the legislation. It is called Work Health and Safety Act 2011. This is a legislation from the Commonwealth federal governments, but also it is the same in every state and territory. They do have their own legislation about work health and safety. Okay, so work health and safety, as we mentioned, it's including cultural safety. So that is part of our safety in the workplace, right? That's why you guys, I would strongly recommend you when you're going for your work placement in your in the facility, please ask them if have time to have a look at their policy and procedure regarding work health and safety. Okay, so definitely in this legislation, they will clearly share with you what will be the workers and employers' responsibility and their rights, what is their duties, and in this legislation, they will also mention what will be the legal frameworks to make sure workplace health and safety, yeah, and also employer have their primary duty of care to protect all workers. Okay, that's why we say we don't want any incidents and accident happen during the work. It is your employer need to do a lot of assessment, identify all of those work-related hazards that to protect all the staff. Okay. And if you guys still don't remember about the client's responsibility, I would expect you guys to write it down, okay? So you can see if you supporting your clients with expressing their responsibility. So definitely, as we mentioned earlier, the clients, they also need to respect our employees, right? Every staff, not only the manager, not only the nurses, the doctors, they also need to respect us, even respect the cleaner, the receptionist, the kitchen hand staff, every employee. And they need to treat staff fairly without discrimination. Unfortunately, we can control ourselves, but we can't control other people, especially our clients. Sometimes it is quite sad to hear our clients may say, "Oh, where are you coming from? Go back to your country." Right? Yeah, it's not nice to hear that, but we can politely and firmly tell your clients this is not good to saying that. Yeah, this is not acceptable as well. Please stop saying this. Right? This is quite really disrespectful. You can firmly let your clients know. Right? And also, it's your clients, they need to follow their agreement. When they start receiving our care and services from your aged care providers or any NDIS provider, they do need to sign the agreement. So it is their responsibility to follow the agreement and also follow the conditions. For example, they can't smoking in their room, right? They need to pay their bonds or need to pay their fee or etc. Right? Depends on the provider. And it's our clients' responsibility to take responsibility for their own actions and their choices. That is what we say. If our clients make some decision, probably may put themselves at risks or different level of risk that is related to dignity of risk. So they need to take responsibility for their own actions, right? They're adults, right? If your clients lost the capacity to make their own decisions, if that decision is making by the family member, right, they should also sign a paperwork to show that they're fully understanding and they're also taking the responsibility for their final decision, right? That is your clients and their families' responsibility. And also, we do need to improving yourself and also your social awareness, right? That is what we have mentioned earlier. How can we improve our social or cultural awareness, you think, in our workplace? What can we do to get to know more about other people's cultural background in the workplace? What do you think we can do? Anyone? No? How about your friends? Like I'm sure you would have some friends, they are from different cultural background. So how do you start getting to know more about your friends' cultural background?
Or to take in their own culture's history.
Okay, so getting to know their cultural history, yes. Anything else?
Asking them.
Yeah, simple as that. Asking some respectful questions, yeah? Yeah, or probably you can start building up your network with some of the multicultural groups, etc. Right? So here this slide is giving you some of the idea. Firstly, how do you improving yourself? Yeah, so make sure you let inclusion to guide your behavior. Always consider to inviting, getting every people in the same page, sharing your ideas, and also giving the opportunity for others to share their ideas, and also reflect yourself, reflect on how you're treating others, from different opinions, from different people as well. Right? That is, you could improve yourself. And in terms of improving cultural awareness, always listen and ask. Be patient, right? Showing your respect. When somebody is sharing something with you, listen first, yeah? And we need to using some culturally appropriate resources and communication, yeah? Some of them, if something you are not sure why they're doing it in this way, then do not be really offensive, but trying to get to know, probably do some research, yeah? Start getting to know other people's cultural background, and as we say earlier, to build a network with cultural agency. Or even though in our community, there are so many different ways that we can start getting to know other cultural background. For example, you can try and go to a restaurant to try different cultural food, right? Or even though you attending different like celebrations, yeah, start getting to know what is the history of those traditions, etc., etc. Yeah, so it is quite important for us as a support worker to start building up our awareness and also having the ability to knowing how to work effectively and properly and safely with our clients or our colleagues from different cultural backgrounds. Okay? Any questions regarding the first chapter? So these units we would divide it into 2 weeks. So for today we would only do chapter 1 and chapter 2. All right, and I'm not sure. Hopefully we can probably finish a little bit earlier. Depends on how you guys, if you are actively participate into the activities in the second part, then probably we can finish a little bit earlier. For chapter 3 and 4, we will do it next week. Okay, so take it easy for today. It's not that hard. In the second part of this unit, chapter 2 of this unit, you guys would, I think, have a lot of time for you guys to doing the activities together. And during our break, I'll probably need to think about if I can break out the rooms for you guys to do a group work. I'm not sure if they're sharing those authority for me to break out the room. If not, then let's see if we can do the activity. Okay. Any questions for this first chapter regarding some definitions, some basic understanding of those new terms for you guys? Any questions? No? Not at this stage? Okay. All right. We have 10 minutes break. 10 or 15 minutes break, then now it's 11:30. Please come back after 10 minutes. Yeah, then we continue for chapter 2. Alrighty? See you soon.